Cold open.
Traveling in packs that I can't carry anymore, but waiting for somebody else to carry me. There's nothing that's there for me at my door. All the people I know aren't who they used to be. And if I try to change my life one more day, there would be nobody else to save. And I can't change into a person I don't wanna be. So, oh, it's Saturday night. I pray for the wicked on the weekend. Mama, can I get another amen? Oh, oh, it's Saturday night. Swear to God, I ain't never gonna repent. Mama, can I get another amen? Oh, oh, it's Saturday night. Yeah. Every morning when I wake up, I wanna be who I couldn't say I'd ever been. But it's so much more than I ever was. If every night I go to sleep knowing that I give everything that I had to give, man, it's all I could have asked for. I've been standing up beside everything I've ever said, but oh, it's Saturday night. I pray for the wicked on the weekend. Mama, can I get another amen? Oh, oh, it's Saturday night. Swear to God, I ain't never gonna repent. Mama, can I get another amen? Oh, oh, it's Saturday night. Yeah. If I had one more day to wish, if I had one more day to be better than I could have ever been. If I had one more day to wish, if I had one more day, I could be better, but baby, oh, it's Saturday night. I pray for the wicked on the weekend. Mama, can I get another amen? Oh, oh, it's Saturday night. Swear to God, I ain't never gonna repent. Mama, can I get another amen? Oh, oh, it's Saturday night. Yeah. It's Saturday, Saturday, it's Saturday. Oh, oh, it's Saturday night. Yeah. Swear to God, swear to God, swear to God.
Don't worry about me, I'm gonna make it alright. Got my enemies crossed, nailed in my side. I take a beer situation, gonna make it right. In the shadow of the darkness, I stand in the light. See, it's our style, we keep it true. I had a bad year, I'll go through. I've been knocked out, beat down, black and blue. She's not the one coming back for you. She's not the one coming back for you. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. It takes disaster to learn a lesson. You're gonna make it through the darkest night. Some people betray more than class treason. Wanna make everything alright. Woo! fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend. If I fall back down, you're gonna help me back up again. If I fall back down, you're gonna be my friend.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Corey LeBlanc, Corey White, on Instagram, and Ceremonial Witch if you're listening to the podcast or whatever this is on. Anyways, so yesterday I made 2 recordings, fairly simple, 25 or 26 minutes each, and I was going to elaborate on that, but I'm like, no, kids, wife are almost all home, got to cook supper, still have to sleep for my job tonight, which I barely did. I got like 4 hours and 2 hours separated, 2 and 2, you know what I mean? But anyways, so I decided to not go any further into the new age of Aquarius, all these prophecies and, you know, people being, the ascension process happening, people being enlightened, us advancing, and shit like that I want to talk about. I got some pretty cool, good insights, things that, you know, I think are pretty. Anyway, but I didn't get into that. I kept it short and sweet, and it was about, someone asked me a question about signal magic. I think it's good during the NEOPHYTE on my YouTube. Like I said yesterday, if anybody listens to the 2 episodes I put out, I had to do it in where you could just upload it to Spreaker, and then they create an episode like that instead of actually going live an episode. You know, which is pretty simple actually. So I don't have to record it and do everything for its own process, but I have to have one big long recording that would take forever to upload. And if I do very small recordings, like I say, I try not to go over the 20-minute mark, because then it makes it hard for me to fucking send it to my phone and I have to fucking trim it and edit it and all this shit. Which I try not to edit my shit, I try to keep it raw. But anyways, the point is, the speaker app on my phone would allow me to play until I had about 15 minutes left of the episode, and then it would just stop and give me the same error message that the app on my Mac would tell me right off the hop. It would allow me to put everything in, get everything ready, and then I would hit record, and it would just say reconnecting, and then error something G50, 42, G58. I don't even know what it is. Some fucking bingo number, basically, G58 or fucking G48. I don't know what it was, but the point is, that's what kept happening yesterday for some odd reason. And it's not like the shit I was talking about was real bad or real eye-opening or jaw-dropping. So, I mean, could it be somebody trying to stop me? I know there's lots of people coming, not trying to taint my name, but I've got multiple fraud things happening because my information is posted online. Due to the fact that, you know, I want people to be able to get a hold of me via my website, call me, text me if they're in the area, you know. I do have my address on there for whatever reason, which is kind of stupid. But the point is, I have that all online, and with that, people can do a lot of shit with all that information. Now, without your SIN or any bank information, you can't really commit fraud or steal from you, but they can call you and pretend to be things and get information about you with that information. And that seems to happen a lot. And, you know, there's a lot I'm not going to get into everything that's going on or that I have weird happen, but there's a lot of different things. And I don't think it's like magical people. I think it's just people in general that may not like me or just think maybe I'm an easy target, whatever the case is. So, but yeah, I was experiencing definite technical difficulties yesterday. And it could totally be just Spreaker, but Spreaker's pretty good for telling you when they're down. It's happened multiple times now where they have a message right on their website, right on the app, they send it to your email, they send you a message within the speaker, not app, but the website. So they're normally right on the ball, and there was nothing last night, nothing at all. So like I said, I get halfway through the episode, and I figured on my phone that even though I did half the episode the one time, I thought, okay, well then I'll just do half the episode the next time, kind of the way I uploaded it. I'm just going to do it like that, and then both times it ended up getting that error message. I'm like, well, whatever, it recorded, but it didn't. It would say it recorded for 14 seconds, even though it recorded for like fucking 30-some minutes or 25 minutes. And yeah, so it was just bullshit. It just sucked. It was kind of a piss off. But, so what I talked about yesterday was doing sigil magic before hitting the elemental grade of Earth. The elemental grade of Earth is when you take care of your health, your finances, few other things, but those are the kind of the most important ones, right? Which, you know, you might say, ooh, good, I'm going to learn healing magic, and ooh, good, I'm going to learn fucking money magic, and yeah, you will, but here's the thing, that money magic and that healing magic, well, the money magic and healing magic I pull out of it comes along with having to remain healthy, having to make healthy choices, having to get rid of bad habits, you know, and then same with the money. You got to get rid of impulsive spending. You got to get rid of these things that make you do this dumb shit. So it's not so easy. You got to budget right. And, you know, it's not just about making a sigil and manifesting money. It's more about maintaining the money when you do get it and being grateful for having it. And the true way to be grateful is to actually be able to spend it, because if you just have these impulsive whims and then you buy and then you're not really gratified, you're going to keep wanting money, and money doesn't really have any meaning like this. It doesn't have no meaning whatsoever, and it's just something that comes and goes. And if it's something that, okay, it comes and goes and you're being impulsive and you can just conjure it up and ask for it anytime you want and you get it, well, then it really has no meaning. It's just a pointless energy, which is kind of the way a lot of people think about it right now. You know, talking about the banking system, Illuminati's, bankers, all this shit. But the point is, when you get to that next grade, this is when you deal with these things, and there's a reason for it, because, you know, you had to do your balancing, your grounding, your middle pillars, your banished projected knives, all these fucking exercises for the 6 months to a year to be in the right state of mind to actually be able to want to not be impulsive and spend, to not want to smoke and do drugs and fucking drink and all this, because you realize your body is a temple. It's the same thing, you know. If you can just heal yourself, well, then you can smoke, you can drink, you can do dope, you can have sex and get AIDS and gonorrhea and herpes, and it doesn't matter because you can just get rid of it. You can heal yourself. I mean, there's really no consequences whenever shit works out like that, right? So therefore, this is why the NEOPHYTE grade is made for that. But sigil magic, being simple suggestions you put into your subconscious mind, all right, using the language of the subconscious mind, I don't think is a bad idea, because it gives your mind, it gives you practice speaking to your mind. And, you know, if you manifest something that you're not ready for or you don't actually need or anything to that effect, then it is what it is, and you're going to learn from that lesson either way. So it really doesn't matter. Well, it does and it doesn't. You know, if you're doing baneful magic using sigils for that, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to say I don't know how you could do that. You definitely could do that, but point is, it's not something that, you know, you would normally use for baneful magic, in my opinion, in my book. But anyways. Alright, well anyways, I'll have to stop talking for a second because I'm at a clinic there right now. Give me a moment.
Silence, who are we mistaken? But you see, it's not me, it's silence, we must be mistaken. It's the same old theme in 2018. In your head, they're still fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their guns and their drones. In your head, they are dying. What's in your head? In your head. Stop it, stop it, stop it. What's in your head? In your head. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Open your eyes to the millions of lies that they tell you every day. Open your mind to the clever disguise that the advertisements say. How do they know what's good for you? Wake up, whoa! Wake up, whoa! A shot to the head, they're better off dead. Will you wake up, whoa! Destroy all the land and kill what you can just to make the profits rise. And sell you from birth for all that you're worth. The money spreads like lies. And how do they know what's good for you? Wake up, whoa! Wake up, whoa! A shot to the head, they're better off dead. Will you wake up, whoa! Don't wanna hate you, don't wanna blame it all on you. Out of options. If you don't look, I'll force you to. If you don't look, I'll force you to. If you don't look, I'll force you to. Wake up, whoa! Wake up, whoa! A shot to the head, just so you can be fed. Will you wake up, whoa! Open your eyes, open your eyes.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am the Ceremonial Witch, and yes, I know it sounds weird because I just played one where I gave an intro and I'm giving another introduction or, my greeting again. It's just 2 different days. Yesterday I taped that first part, but then because of the lack of sleep I had all week, thank God for meditation, my God. But for the lack of sleep I had all week doing my night shift, I probably wouldn't have I came home and I just crashed. And you know what? The reason I say this thing about meditation now, I'm never going to say that meditation is something you can replace sleep with or anything like that, okay? Now, could you just meditate and give up sleeping altogether? Well, first thing would be you'd have to be adult, and what I mean by that is finish growing, your bones stop growing and all that, And if you're going to try that, you would have to gradually break down to that, because there are cultures in the world that don't sleep.
more than 4 hours. I played a thing with Russell Brand interviewing a woman who interviewed a tribesman. And the funny thing was, when these people, if they ended up napping for longer than 4 hours, okay, they had to rename themselves when they woke up because it was believed that anything over a 4-hour nap would make you a different person. I don't know how you want to do with that. I looked into this tribe a bit for the very minimal information I was able to find on it, and it turned out to be true. Or as far as the authorities go, with the information on the internet about this certain topic. So, I mean, it was true. But anyway, so I think that's fucking fascinating as hell, being that that's a thing. So, but anyway, so if you were to get rid of meditation or get rid of sleeping and just meditate, first of all, you'd have to have everything else in order. You'd have to have some kind of physical activity to do to keep your body strong and healthy. You would have to be eating the right food and doing a breathing exercise. You would definitely have to have a meditation, and I would say 2 to 3 times a day, maybe even 4 times a day to start, because I can throw the stat at you and the science and even show you the proof of meditation. And that's the one thing, right? The experiments done now, okay, the ones that aren't in the textbooks yet, that like Greg Braden will talk about. The experiments that are done now, you can kind of trust the validity of, because they're being done by people for and against New Age. So you're actually getting both fucking polarities, both sides of the coin. People trying to suppress it and people trying to promote it, right? You see the promoting people give you way more good angles. You see the people trying to suppress it. Now, not all people trying to suppress it. If people trying to suppress it, they'll avoid the really good stats and give you the bad stats, or if there is no bad stats, they will try to give you good stats or something else of equivalent value or whatever the case is. But there's a lot of things there. People are trying to dismiss meditation way back when. And meditation is not new. So I'm not saying it's new or anything like that. But when people try to dismiss meditation and try to unprove the fact that it helps your brain, they realize that that was wrong. And whenever they realize that, an hour of meditation is worth 4 to 6 hours of sleep, I don't have the stats for me. I should have checked. But whenever they realized that, it was such a profound effect that instead of being mad that they were proved wrong, they took up spirituality, or at least a meditation practice, and wanted to learn more about it. So that's profound, right? When someone is so hard-headed, so polarized that they want to prove something wrong, and when they're unable to, instead of being bitter about it and changing the fucking facts and trying to twist the narrative to something, they actually change their view a little bit and actually try it. That's pretty profound. But anyway, so I can throw that stat and show you the proof of that shit, because that's a newer experiment that's been done and by so many different people. I can throw that at you and you can say, wow, that's awesome. But if you've been sleeping your whole life, doing this every day, right? It's been a habit that's been created by you. So I'm not going to tell you you need sleep to live, but because you've been living with this habit of sleep your entire life, it would be the same as trying to quit drinking if you drink every day of your life, trying to quit doing a drug every day of your life, trying to stop eating and going on a diet is the same concept. It's very hard to break these fucking habits that we've done day in and day out every day of our life. So sleeping, we do sleeping because of the subconscious mind takes over and does all the good shit. So sleeping is not a bad thing at all. However, if you had a great link between your subconscious mind and your conscious mind, if you're the type of person that can talk to spirits and do different things with spiritual energies and different things like that, if you had that capability, she's hot. Sorry. If you had that capability to I lost my train of thought. If you had the capability to talk to your subconscious mind while you're conscious, okay, and you have to meditate obviously from time to time, but if you had that capability, could you go without sleeping? And the answer to that would be yes, because if you can implant suggestions in your subconscious mind, and if 1 hour of meditation is worth 4 hours of sleep, well then that 1 hour of meditation is enough, right? If you did 4 meditations in a day, that's like what, 16 hours of sleeping? So your subconscious mind, if it's during a sleep where your conscious mind is no longer in the way, then it needs that long to work on these things because your conscious mind could keep fucking it up, waking up, having to pee and all that. But whenever you're meditating, you have direct access. So it's like sleeping, except a lot faster. So anyway, and this is all hypothetical, but Just want to throw it out there. So, if you could directly talk to your subconscious mind, you have that link to your subconscious mind through whatever means, okay, then potentially you could go without sleep because, you know, all the functions like of growing and all that, you've already did. You already went through, you know, your growing and all that. So you don't need to sleep to grow anymore. And if you're a healthy person, and you can keep implanting suggestions into your mind, and you at least meditate 4 times a day, so this way your subconscious mind can make sure your bodily functions happen. Now, if you're still eating a lot of food, then I would say you would still have to sleep for the digestive process to happen. Otherwise, the digestive process was going to happen while you're awake consciously, and it can be a pretty painful process. And a lot of people start thinking they have issues whenever they keep having this reoccurring pain in their lower abdomen. You know, oh my God, it's colon cancer or it's stomach cancer or this or that. And it's just them processing all the crap food they ate. Because they woke up in the middle of the night eating something, the digestive process stopped in its tracks to take in more food. And the digestive system is not going to, because it's got to shut down certain things for it to process, right? Okay, so it gets filled up with so much fucking food, and then you go to sleep. Okay, so that when you go to sleep, when you start sleeping, and you get to a certain wave, I can't remember which one it is, beta, theta, whatever, probably theta, but I don't know. When you get to that certain frequency, that certain vibrational wave of sleep, okay, it tells your subconscious mind, okay, they're in a deep enough sleep that they're not going to wake up because of the pain of digesting, and we can start this process because they're in a deep sleep, so unless somebody fucking intentionally wakes them up, we're golden. And then all of a sudden something does happen and you wake up. Well, before that it has to close off, okay, the ways for anything else to come in so it can digest. So it's kind of like, you know, burning something in a fucking furnace. Or like a submarine, right? If you're going in a submarine that's underwater, the one door has to open to let you in, right? But that's going to let in water. And then it has to let that door close behind you, okay? So now you're trapped between 2 doors. The one that lets you into the actual submarine and the one that just lets you into the, I guess, decon area or, you know, the first, inside the first part of the submarine. So then once you get inside that, then they have to drain the water after the doors close somehow. And then you could take your mask off and then you could enter the actual submarine. Well, that's how it works for your fucking digestive system. So you go to sleep, okay, it shuts that fucking front door and then it starts draining all the food into the actual submarine, which is, you know, not the same as process, but it's very similar what I'm trying to explain. So that all that food that was stored in there, okay, it makes sure anything else is, if there's anything else in there, it allows it through. So whenever you wake up and you eat something when that was already going, because you can wake up and go to the bathroom and go back to sleep and nothing be interrupted, okay? There's a time frame, okay? Because that's like you're still in this trance-like state where, you know, you could be thinking about your dream and all this shit, and this is where you can do cool things, and why Bert says this is where you wave your arms around and do magic. Why? Well, because there's something there trying to fuck with you if you're going through one of those dark experiences. But more importantly than that, the reason we say to do specific magics right before bed is because you're in that trance-like state, the betas or the thetas or the zetas or whatever fucking brainwave state you're in right before sleep, okay? You're in that when you wake up to go to the bathroom. So if you can focus on your visualizations or your manifestations while you're doing that, well then, hell, you're doing ritual magic, you know what I mean? Yes, okay, you're not in a circle and you're not protected and all that, but that's why if you can wake up and do that, you know, if you got into the pattern of every time you woke up to pee, after you peed, you drew a circle, you lit a candle and incense, and you did your rituals, my God, you would take all the having to do breathing exercises and get in a relaxed trance-like state, you take all that out because you're already in that state, you know what I mean? You would slowly come out of it as you're in your practice, but I'm telling you, especially if you're tired enough, then you'd be fine. But anyways, that's all besides the point. So the point I was trying to get at was, if you were to develop a meditative state or a meditative practice, you would have to start your meditation practice 4 times a day first, and then you can start reducing your sleep and gradually replace your sleeping habits with your 4 to 6 times meditating habits. And yeah, you could gain hours of your life back, right? So let's say you sleep 8 hours a night. Well, and let's say you start with 4 hours of meditation to replace your 8 hours of sleep at night, or even let's say 6. I would say when you start reducing your sleep, add the 2 hours of meditation if you have the time. Like, who has that time when they're sleeping? But the point of this is, if you can get rid of those 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night, or even 6 to 4 hours every day, you have to do. You have to sleep every night. Okay, let's say you get 8 hours of sleep for the majority of the year. Well, then if you replace that with only 4 hours of meditation, then you're getting a lot of extra time you can do. Now, the sleep plus the meditation can make your manifestations happen faster. But at least with meditation, whenever you get really good at it anyways, you're trying to focus on one thing and one thing only. So you're training your mind to focus on what you want to focus on, which also helps with your spiritual practice, with manifestation, with everything. With being able to not just fucking be at the whims of the media and all this shit. But I guess that's what I guess that's the little idea I'm trying to punt, is you could be without sleep, because sleep is a pattern, and because of our sleep patterns and the reason we sleep, I mean, we do have these important functions on there. But if you had 4 hours of meditation a day, if you did it all at once, I mean, I guess it would be the same thing, but you could technically replace it. But you would have to be one of these people, and it's similar to me, because I don't eat much anymore, and I'm not getting reduced in size. I'm not losing weight. I lost weight up to a certain point, and it seems that the 170 is going to be my weight for the rest of my life, because I eat very lightly. I eat a lot throughout the day as I get the urge to. Okay, my body tells me, hey, you need something, and I take something in. But I've been slowly reducing it now for the last 3 years, because I went from eating crazy big meals. If it was pizza, if we had pizza, I'd eat 6 to 7 slices of pizza, and then I'd be fucking sore for the next few days because I overpacked my stomach. Because that's not the only meal I ate. That was just supper. I'd be breakfast and lunch that were huge, and snacks in between that. Well, I now will have maybe one big meal a day. And that's me making, 3 things all at once and eating it. Normally, that's going to be the first or the second thing I do. And then I just snack throughout the day. Now, that being said, because I did that, and I'm not going to lie, I still wake up in the middle of the night, and sweets, more often than not, I crave sweets. And, Birch will tell you that our ancestors like sweets, they like alcohol, they like smoke. And so for me to wake up in the middle of the night and crave sweets all the time, you can say, well, maybe there's a spirit, somebody, whatever, and, yeah, I can totally make that case, but that's for a different episode. But anyways, so, but.
All right, before I go any further there, I just want to finish the idea about the submarine and all that, and how it relates to me eating less. So when you wake up in the middle of the night and your body already started that process, as soon as you put more food in, it's aware that you just entered more food, and because this hypothetical door, now it's not actually a door or anything like that, I'm just using that as a correspondence, as a simile for how it works. But because that door is closed, that food will only be able to go to a certain point, and technically it's not safe to be there, and your body wants to be as efficient as possible. So it's going to stop the whole digestive process, open that door so that it has some place to go, basically, and it's going to have to shut the other door that was open behind it, basically. This is just, like I said, all hypothetical, but as soon as you eat, it stops the whole process from happening. And then it's got to do that whole process of bringing it down over again, and then by the time, the sleep you get, if you wake up again, and you disrupt it, then it keeps slowing it down. So what I'm trying to get at is, I don't know whether it's because I eat so light and I don't have much in my stomach, or because I have a good connection to my subconscious mind, and I learned about all these processes that maybe it can happen during the day and it's not painful for me anymore, that it doesn't bug me, because like I said, I still eat in the middle of the night, but I don't get the pains anymore, whereas when I used to eat in the middle of the night, I used to get these pains to the point where I went to the doctor, I showed him where the pain was, and he told me, yeah, that's your stomach. And it's connected to the colon and all this. And, they didn't find anything wrong with me, thank God. But, I could have started a train of thought that was very scary. And, but because I don't eat a bunch too much crap all the time, because even when I eat bad food, it's not in big quantities. Because that maybe the process is still happening, but it's not painful anymore during the day. It does make your body tired, and I do have days where I'm overtired, and most of those days I can trace back that I was woken up in the middle of the night to eat and all that. So that process makes you tired, but maybe it's no longer painful for me because of the type of food I'm putting in. Because for the amount of bad food I eat, I also eat the same equal amount of good food. So yeah, if I'm going to have a fucking chocolate bar or some ice cream or eat a whole fucking thing of icing, which I have done recently too, as recent as like a month ago, I'm going to eat that amount in nuts.
I see your dirty face hide behind your collar, but it's done in vain. Truth is hard to swallow, so you pray to God to justify the way you live a lie, live a lie, live a lie. angels like Angel Eye, and Pamela, and Samada, and Amanda, and Tamara, me, Najee, moi. I'm in here like, bitch, what's up? Mechanic, me, I can fix you up, I can dick you up, I can dick you down. Shout if we could go wherever, just pick a town. And my jewelry is louder than an engine sound. Big ass rocks like on the ground, dirty like socks that's on the ground. We say, because when I arrive, I'll bring the fire, make you come alive. I can take you higher, what this is. Forgot, I must now remind you, let it rock, let it rock, let it rock. Because when I arrive, I'll bring the fire, make you come alive. I can take you higher, what this is. Forgot, I must now remind you, let it rock, let it rock, let it rock. Just let it rock, let it rock.
I tear my heart open, I sew myself shut. My weakness is that I can't do much, and my scars remind me that the past is real. I tear my heart open just to fail. I'm drunk and I'm feeling down, and I just wanna be alone. I'm pissed cause you came around, why don't you just go home? Cause I channeled all your pain, and I can't help you fix yourself. You're making me insane, all I can say is I tear my heart open, I sew myself shut, and my weakness is that I can't do much, and our scars remind us that the past is real. I tear my heart open just to fail. I tried to help you once, against my own advice. I saw you going down, but you never realized that you're drowning in the water. So I offered you my hand, compassion's in my nature. Tonight is our last stand. I tear my heart open, I sew myself shut, and my weakness is that I can't do much, and our scars remind us that the past is real. I tear my heart open just to fail. I'm drunk and I'm feeling down, and I just wanna be alone. You should've never come around, why don't you just go home? Cause you're drowning in the water, and I tried to grab your hand. I left my heart open, but you didn't understand. But you didn't understand. Go fix yourself. I can't help you fix yourself, but at least I could say I tried. I'm sorry, but I gotta move on with my own life. I can't help you fix yourself, but at least I could say I tried. I'm sorry, but I gotta move on with my own life. I tear my heart open, I sew myself shut, and my weakness is that I can't do much, and our scars remind us that the past is real. I tear my heart open.
God, I hate that. I get a call when I'm fucking trying to record. Son of a bitch. But anyways, so for the amount of bad food I eat the same amount of good food. So I'll eat seeds. I'll have chia seeds. I'll have fucking spirulina, like I talked about. You know, a bunch of different herbs and shit like that. And you know, apples and vitamins. And I do take some complete natural, or as natural as you can get vitamins. But be very selective and careful on the vitamins you take, because some of them will do you more harm than good. Some bodies don't need a multivitamin, you know, they promote that, and the concept of having all these vitamins and minerals in your body isn't bad, but at the same sense, you might not need some of those things, so you're just taking excess in, and then, you know. But anyways, so that was just to finish that thought about the submarine and all that. So if you're waking up and eating it all night, it's not good for you. It's not going to be good, and it doesn't mean you have a fucking problem, it doesn't mean you have cancer, it doesn't mean you have anything. It's just you're not letting your body's process do enough. It's bad enough that you're probably packing your body full of food that you don't need. It's bad enough that we're fed, you need to eat the 4 food groups, and you need to fucking eat 3 times a day. And this is just the same thing as Christmas telling you need to buy your kids presents. You don't need that. It's all based on your programming, and what you think is good and healthy for you is going to be what you need to do. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. So I can tell you what you can and can't do all day long. But technically, someone out there can say, well, I didn't do those things, and I got these results that are better than your results, Corey. And it's because they probably had a different programming that worked for them that I don't know about. And, that's their truth. And everybody has their own separate fucking truth and what works. But anyways, so the whole sleeping thing but back to the food. Veganism, okay? If you're cooking any vegan hot dogs or vegan hamburgers, you're not a vegan. You shouldn't be cooking that shit, okay? If that shit has all natural stuff in it, then you should be able to eat it just like that. And I'm not telling you to go eat a vegan fucking wiener or burger fucking raw, although you probably could, but I'm not telling you to do that whatsoever. There's a lot of bad connotations about soy and shit like that out there. I'm not even going to get into that. Everything in excess is bad, and anything that you don't have enough of is also bad if it's essential to your body. So things like meat have some positive attributes, and they have some negative attributes, and it would depend on your body. Like I made an episode a while ago where I heard Jordan Peterson talking about how he's on an all-meat diet, and his daughter has the same one because they have autoimmune disease, or he doesn't have it, but he had a lot of the same symptoms. She had autoimmune disease, among other things. So their immune system was attacking their good cells in their body, and the cure for that was to eat meat. And meat, what is meat doing? It's putting bad things in your body for your immune system to fight against. It's giving it something to fucking do. So you can tell me meat's okay all day long, and then I'm going to tell you, well, it depends on you. I don't need that. My immune system is strong enough as it is, and I'm taking in all the stuff that I'm supposed to get from meat and more. People say, well, how do you get your protein? Well, nuts, seeds, powders. Well, how do you get this? Well, how do you get your iron? Well, fucking iron from the fucking source, close to the source. The iron in the meat, the protein in the meat you're getting, the animal got it from fucking grass. If it's a fucking cow, it ate grass, it ate hay. It's fucking photosynthesis is the process of the sun coming through that leaf, similar to us breathing, right? Although it does that to a similar sense. But anyways, I'll use breathing, even though plants do breathe, they do the opposite of us. They inhale oxygen, they inhale carbon dioxide and exhale oxygen. And this is why you should live with plants and have plants and shit like that in your house and take care of them, because they're your other half. They can, when it comes to breathing. Anyways, breathing is a very spiritual. A plant is a very spiritual thing you can use to your benefit, and you should. If you want to be able to breathe, if you want good clean air, if you want to tell your body that you're only taking in good air and your lungs are going to last forever and this and that, well, get a plant and take care of that fucking plant, okay? Because then you're giving your body a sign that you want clean air in your house. So it won't matter all the stats you hear and how your air is and this and that. It won't matter all that shit. Stop watching that shit, first of all. But second of all, you're going to know that, no, all my plants in my house clean my air for me and I'm good to go. I'm golden. Not to mention plants, they're ground, they're earth, they're a negative vibration. If you have positive ions, too many in your house, well, having plants around to absorb up, to add negativity in your house, and not negativity, but you're adding negative energy in your house. The good negative energy that's healing. Adding a bunch of plants in there is going to help with that. First and foremost, you can get negative ion generators, and I don't have one, so I don't know, but I'm sure they're fucking absolutely fantastic. But you can make one. How do you make a negative ion generator? Put a fucking fountain in your room. Have the fucking fountain go. Running water is electricity, okay? People want to know how to fucking make electricity in your house sustainable. Well, fucking have something like an eavesdrop with a cycle somehow, continuously having water pour, and you can put something that makes it turn, kind of like, you see those houses where the water's pouring beside it, and it has that wheel that's continuously moving. Well, that's fucking energy. That's electricity. Inside, it's got a mechanism, kind of like your crankshaft or your camshaft inside your fucking car, that's continuously moving. That's making the pistons go up and down. That's compressing the fucking in your 4-stroke fucking gasoline fucking explosion engine there you have in your car, right? It's a controlled explosion is what's happening in your car. You are driving around a controlled explosion under your hood. Yes, I'm not joking. Your spark plug is a spark. It's like on your fucking lighter, where it fucking scratches, the little wheel on their lighter that scratches the fucking flint. Okay? That's what your spark plug's doing. And when you hit the red button on your lighter, it releases the gas. Okay? Well, your gasoline in your vehicle is the gas in the car. Your spark plug is igniting that gas. So your pistons, okay, whether it's a 4-cylinder, 8-cylinder, 12-cylinder, that tells you how many cylinders you have. That tells you how many pistons you have in your car, all right? And the reason that, V8s and V12s are associated with more power is because you have more of those things spinning your crankshaft. Your camshaft is a little bit different, but it has the same principle of spinning and all that. And so, and these things, like when it comes down in the cylinder, right, it's like pulling your syringe. Like, say you're giving your kid medicine, you get those little syringes, or even if you use needles, heroin, fucking steroids, whatever. When you put it in and you pull, right, you got negative pressure there. You got no air, apparently, in there. So what you're doing with the no air is then now you're pulling the fucking shit in. Well, your piston does that, okay, because there's a little hole there, and the gasoline comes in. And then as the gasoline comes in, it pulls it in, it fills up that fucking thing. Spark plug ignites. Then it pushes that, and it keeps the system going. I mean, that's fucking paraphrasing a very complicated, because your car is a very complicated fucking engine, and people, it's a miracle. Think about driving around in a vehicle, right? We know vehicle, there's manslaughter. Vehicular manslaughter is a fucking criminal offense that was created because, these cars can be weapons. But it's a weapon in the sense of it takes a while to move. It's a heavy thing, so it's very hard to stop moving. And there's variables like weather and people walking out in front of you that you can't control. But that's the things we know that cause these things. But when you think about your engine being a constant fucking explosion over and over again, because you're more RPMs, there's revolutions per minute times 1,000, okay? So when you're at 1 revolution per minute, actually you idle less than that. You idle at like about, 800, 700? Well, the next time whenever your car's in park, look at it, you'll see it's around the 1, but a little bit lower. That's the way my cars are anyways, okay? So you're at 800 revolutions, you're at 8 revolutions per minute times 1,000. So that's actually, when your car's not moving, your fucking pistons, okay? The pistons, the thing that turns it, the camshaft that turns the pistons, that make the pistons go up and down, is going at 8,000 revolutions per minute. And that's when your car's not even moving, it's in park. 8,000. So when it's at 1, it's 1 times 1,000. So you're doing 1,000 revolutions per minute. So when you're driving really fast, when you're accelerating anyways, not when you're like, you get up to a speed and you take your foot off the gas, your RPMs go down at this point. So you're not doing as many revolutions. But when you're accelerating, your revolutions are always increasing. Always, always, always. They never decrease when you push down that pedal. That's like an impossibility. Unless your car is turned off, then yeah. That's why they say you're going to flood your car if you hit the gas whenever it's not on. Because of the gas, if you don't have your car on, then your pistons aren't moving. And then you're going to put too much gas inside the fucking, I can't remember the name of the thing that houses all the pistons and the holes and the cylinders and all that. But there's be too much gas in there, and if there's no air in there and the spark plug has got gas all around it, it won't be able to ignite. Doesn't matter what kind of spark fucking thing it is, it cannot ignite unless there's air there. You got gasoline, you got fire, but without air, you can't make the fire, right? Just like you can't have air's all around us. Air's a very important element, right? But you put too much water on the candle, you're not going to light it. If the wick is too fucking soaked, it's not going to light. If your lighter gets fucking all full of, that's the one thing people don't think about, right? The thing about you got gas in here, you got lighter fluid, and you got the thing that scratches the flint. So the flint itself, you can say maybe is the fire, but it's really the process of scratching the flint. Let's say the flint is fire, and then your liquid in here is your water. And then you need air. Air is an important part of the lighter process. You can't have that fire without air. There's no fire underwater. There's none. Yeah, these fish can survive, but there's no fire underwater. But anyway, so yeah, that's what flooding your engine is. Whenever you push the gas, you're giving it, and it doesn't happen anymore now with our new cars. But the old cars, even if the car was off, if you push the gas, it's pretty much pushing your gasoline into that part of the body, okay? There's a big fucking line that comes from your gas tank out, and it's squirting the gas in there. And the faster it squirts gas in there, faster the shit can happen. But, so back to my point, you can't, that's flooding your engine there. If your spark plugs are full of fucking gasoline, there's too much gas around, there's no air in there, it can't fucking ignite. But anyways, it's very small, the space between these cylinders, and the head of the car there, the fucking, I can't think of it. Gasket head? No, it's not it. But anyways, so whenever you're accelerating, okay, you're fucking, the revolutions per minute, that's how many times it does a circle, right? This is why circles are so fucking important. Everything is circular. To make these things go, you have a belt turning this fucking, anyways. Point is of all this is you're driving around a controlled explosion, and the faster you drive, the more revolutions per minute. If you're at the 6, you're going 6,000 revolutions per minute, and then your red zone is 6.5 to about 8 on any car, right? And that's because you're going to overheat at that point, and that's when something bad's going to happen. So you got a lot of wiggle room there, right? But anyways, and this is why standards, I think, are better than automatics, but I'm not going to say that's why I drive my cars in standard mode, because they're not actually standard, and this is a variation, a very weak variation of a real standard car, but in the same sense, at least I can control to a certain extent. But the only point I was trying to make is your car is a fucking complicated thing. Treat it like a human being and it'll work for you. Because when we weren't using our Journey, we were using the car more than anything in the summertime. So the Journey has winter tires on it and shit like that, so we didn't want to drive it around. We didn't want to take them off. We wanted to save money. We didn't need it unless we were going on big trips. And we'd go on a big trip with the whole family, I think fucking twice this year. We had to actually move everybody around. So, and it's cheaper to have the 4-cylinder instead of using the 6-cylinder. But all the lights were on in the Journey. And then by the time I got this job, I had to start using it. And so my wife said, well, we're going to have to take it in, I'll put money aside, and then we'll get it fixed. And there was a few lights on. And I just kept feeling grateful that I never even did sigils or anything, but I just was grateful that my car was fixed and was in good working order, and saying affirmations like I'm so grateful and happy that I have 2 vehicles, and that my Dodge Journey is always reliable, and it gets me to where I got to go safely, it gets my family where I got to go safely without incident, without accident, without any. And that's bad, okay, so I probably didn't use without, but I may have, but don't use without, because that's one of those negative speeches, so I just fucked up there. But anyways, free from any incident, free from any accidents, free from any injuries, fatal or a minor kind of thing. I will do some more to be. I kept saying similar things like that when I was driving, when I was hearing sounds and stuff like that. I would switch up my mind. I would say I reject any ideas of any mechanical or accidental incidences happening, and I accept that my car is a reliable vehicle. My Dodge Journey is a reliable vehicle that gets me and my family safely to where we have to be. I will be, so would it be. I would say that over and over again. And guess what? By the time my wife got it to bring it to the mechanic shop, the fucking lights were off. She's like, "What did you do to the car?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, did you add fluid or something? Because the engine light was on." I'm like, "Nope, I didn't do anything. It's off. I didn't even notice it was on." You know what I mean? And it's still off. We haven't even taken it in. So if you think you can't do magic to affect your car, you can. Now, if your bumper's falling off, or you're rusting out, or there's actual real damage in there, don't think you're going to be able to fix it. I'm not saying it's entirely impossible, but I'm saying, you gotta work with what you got. Okay, if there's something if your engine light's on and you don't really know what's wrong, but your car's pretty working order and you can't see anything, you can probably assume that it's not much of anything, because those lights can come on for certain low fluids, certain things happening. So that's just a fast little story about car manifestation. But I named my cars, and it's not a coincidence that I used to always name my car Sophia. It was always a girl. So my Dodge Journey, because the first car I had when I was with my wife, was Sophia. Okay, and I wanted to name both my girls Sophia. I don't know why well, I do know now, but I never knew why. I love the name Sophia so much, and I always name my cars a girl, and they're always Sophia. Negative. It's earth. It's an element. It's material. It's earthly realm. So it's negative. It's a girl. Fucking girl. I go inside of her, don't I? I go inside the car. It's a girl. It does get me to point A, point B, but it's something I go inside, and then, when I have to come, and go, I go inside of her, and then when I'm done with her, I leave her there, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be mean, rude, and sensitive. I'm not saying as a girl, as a female, as like my 2 little girls or anything like that. I'm not trying to be mean to women at all. Trust me, that's one of the reasons I have a hard time, anyways. But so, and then when I started studying what I'm studying now, all the different religions and all this, when I got into, what the fuck is his name? Oh man. But anyways, there's spiritualities and religions all about philosophia. So anyways, I named my journey Sophia. It's actually with a U, Sophia. I love that Sophia. But I treat it like a person. It's the same thing with my dog. Some people think, especially when I'm mad at my dog, that I'm mean to my dog. Because like it's just a dog. It's just a dog. But to me, it's a human. To me, it's just another being. I talk to it like it's a being. And that's why my dog responds to me the way it does. That's why all animals respond to me. That's why babies and kids and sometimes mentally handicapped and challenged people, they like me. And other people that, because everybody I treat with the same amount of respect. Whether you're a dickhead or a fucking, doesn't matter, or an animal, a fucking cat, a fucking rabbit. I talk to everything as if it's the same. And I'm not saying that's good or bad or what you should do. It's just how I do everything. And I get things happen because of that. And I talk to the car like it's a being. I treat it like it's a being. When the kids leave garbage and it's dirty and fucking try to jump on them, like, don't do that to the car. Would you want somebody doing that to you? You know what I mean? Like, and I've been like this since I was a kid. You know, all my toys and teddy bears and everything all had personifications. They all had names. They all had whatever. You know what I mean? And because that's how I felt. And, you know, I think that's half right. But anyways, way off what I was supposed to talk about today. So back to the sleeping and the trance and the meditation. If you want to try to get extra hours and you need to get away from your sleep, well, don't just only sleep 4 hours. Now, the science behind sleeping 4 hours is that's enough for your organs to heal and rest and be ready for the next day. So they say a minimum of 4 hours a day, okay, for an adult, not for a child. For a child, it's different, 4 hours a day. But, you know, that's what you need. But the meditation shit comes along, and when someone actually is meditating correctly, and they did studies, and you'll see some bad studies out there, but if you take a person who doesn't know how to meditate, and they say they meditated, and you look at their brain, you're going to see nothing happen. But the point is, when people actually did get into a meditative state, whether it was short or long, those people had profound effects, and the same effects that happened. And this is why I'm pretty sure it was 4 hours of sleep, because the reason why it's not actually that 4 hours, it's not that fucking linear process that everybody thinks, you know, this equals this. It's not like that. Every person's going to be different. However, because 4 hours is what you need for your body's organs to rejuvenate for the next day, well, the hour of meditation accomplished that. So what your body does in your sleep state, your what is it? Delta state, I want to say. Maybe I got that wrong, but I get mixed up with those. They're all beta, delta, alpha, you know what I mean, theta. What your body does in that delta state when you're sleeping for those 4 hours happened within the hour of meditation. And not only that, and that could be lower too. I think hour is what you see the majority of, but I've seen half an hour, I've seen 20 minutes, and this is depending on the practitioner and their link and all this. So go with the hour. But anyways, but you can use this mathematically as well, right? If 1 hour equals 4 hours, well, that means there's 20 goes into 64 times, right? No, 15. Wow, that's terrible. 15 goes into 64 times, right? So that's why you say quarter past 3. You know what I mean? That's why it's 3:15, because it's quarter. You know, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, and quarter 2, right? Whenever it's quarter to 4, it's fucking 3:45. Okay, so if you take that 4 hours and you divide it by 4, you would get 25. If you take 4 hours, it would be 2.5. Take 4 hours and you divide it by fucking 4. Anyways, what would equal 1 hour? 1 hour each. So anyways, so if 1 hour meditation is equal to 4 hours sleep, my math is so fucking bad lately, I can't fucking do it. I think when I'm doing this stuff, because consciously I'm good at math, and I think when I'm doing when I'm speaking, okay, I am linked up to something. I want everybody to understand that, okay? I'm never going to go around saying that, you know, this is my name and I'm a channeler and all the information I'm talking about is coming through channeled. No, I'm never going to do that because, like I say often, the thoughts that are around us aren't ours, okay? Right now, all these thoughts coming to me are not my thoughts. This is coming from a different place, okay? This is coming from a different place, somewhere else that, you know, I learned it, I hear it, or it's just coming from the unconscious, or it's just coming from my cells. They're telling me what I need to know, okay? It's coming from that place. So whenever I'm in this state, you know, it's more left brain than right brain. So this is why I think my math is so fucked up when I try to do this. And I'm not lying to anybody when I say I'm very good at math. I've always been very good at math. It's one of my best subjects. You know, phys ed, fucking gym class was my favorite and the most fun one to do, but the sciences and the maths were the ones that intrigued my mind the most. You know, gym's like my south node, what I'm good at, what's comfortable, what I know how to do well already because I've done it over and over again. But the sciences and the math were like my north node, like what, ooh, I have an interest in this. It's not easy, but it intrigues me, and I liked it. Now, did I think math was just fun doing these problems? Not necessarily, but whenever I realized I did good or I was right, and whenever something was technically hard that other people couldn't do and I could do it, that's what I liked. I liked being able to push myself past the limits of other people had or whatever. And maybe that's an ego thing, but that just proves my point even more, that it proves that when I'm doing my podcast to you guys, you are getting information that is not mine. Don't think this is the ceremonial witch, Corey LeBlanc there. This is my information and my philosophy. Now, I do say that this is my philosophy about life, but it's taking all these spiritualities. But when I'm talking to you, I'm giving you this information. It's not necessarily coming from me. It's being filtered through all the shit that I've learned. So it's a good thing that I'm depolarized to a certain extent. And it's a good thing that I've studied so many different fucking religions, spiritualities, hypnosis, astrology, all these things. Because when this information comes through me, then I have all these different filters that it has to come through. And because I have a wide range of ideas that I try not to judge, and I try my best to not judge, and I pride myself in not judging that other people had or whatever. And maybe that's an ego thing, but that just proves my point even more, that it proves that when I'm doing my podcast to you guys, you are getting information that is not mine. Don't think this is the ceremonial witch, Corey LeBlanc there. This is my information and my philosophy. Now, I do say that this is my philosophy about life, but it's taking all these spiritualities. But when I'm talking to you, I'm giving you this information. It's not necessarily coming from me. It's being filtered through all the shit that I've learned. So it's a good thing that I'm depolarized to a certain extent. And it's a good thing that I've studied so many different fucking religions, spiritualities, hypnosis, astrology, all these things. Because when this information comes through me, then I have all these different filters that it has to come through. And because I have a wide range of ideas that I try not to judge, and I try my best to not judge, and I pride myself in not judging, then I give you this information well. And this makes the difference between someone who has good information and someone who can't see past their own belief systems. You know what I mean? If that person got new information, they would just disregard it. They're not going to get anything other than what their belief system allows. But when you release belief systems and shit like that, and you release programming, then more information can come through you. So once again, you can't get rid of all your programmings and all your belief systems. You do have to have some in there, but you want the ones that are going to benefit you. And you can make a belief system that's very broad and it's non-judgmental, and it allows you to absorb and use and investigate other belief systems. There's nothing saying you can't do that. But anyways, I want everybody to understand that when I'm bad at math, it's because my conscious mind isn't as here in the now as my subconscious mind. Not only that, is whenever I do this process, okay, my meditation is worth 4 hours of sleeping. If 1 hour meditation is worth 4 hours of sleeping. Well, I'm on here for about an hour most of the time, okay? And I'm telling you right now that my left side of my mind is more active than my right side of my mind, and that's why I have a hard time fucking doing math. It's kind of like when you come out of when you wake up and you can't remember your dream, but it's there on the tip of your tongue. Your subconscious is, it's there, but you can't fucking see it yet because your subconscious is fading to the background. Well, that's what's going on in this process. I'm consciously awake when I speak to you guys, but it's coming through me, and it's coming from a subconscious place, and I like to say Mercury, and here's the thing, I make candles for the gods of the day every day, and every single one, even if it's like Venus, who's material things and all this, I always am grateful for the wisdom that they bestowed onto me, and the intelligence. Well, I normally say intelligence and stuff like that, and that I turn into wisdom or something to that effect, but I say that for every god of the day. So, and this is why on Mercury Day I normally make episodes, but today is Saturn Day, and I recently had a huge candle that burned for like 3 weeks with a few different things on it, and that was one of the things, was thank you for the information and intelligence and all the spirituality, I can't remember the word I used, but maybe it was wisdom, that you've allowed me to receive, and for me to tell and help other people use it in a practical way to help their lives or something like that. And I don't think I made an episode on Saturday in a while, maybe, but I don't know, maybe I did last week, I don't know. See, conscious mind is not working at all, so it's very similar. So, and the point I was trying to get at with this is, and I'm all over the place today, so sorry about that, but that's kind of how your subconscious mind works. I say I have ADD, but I don't think ADD is a real thing. I think it's people have more ideas and spirits in their head than other people. I think some people are more sensitive to this than others. And just like those other people that aren't sensitive to this, they're going to have great qualities in other places. So this is not to bring anybody down. Just one thing I hate about this community is I'm a light worker and you're not. And I'm this and you're not. And no, you have to be this to be this. And if you can't do this, well, that's not true. And all that is just horseshit. First of all, it's keeping us more separated. It's focusing on our differences and not what we are together. But we are all different. But we are all the same. There are no differences. There are no opposites. Kabbalion, bitches. Fucking read it, man. I think the whole world needs to read the Kabbalion. But anyways. So, what the fuck? Jesus. It's so maddening. I blamed it on drugs a few episodes ago, but it's actually what I'm trying to tell you now. And this is an idea that just came to me. So take it for what you think it is. But I think when I'm doing this process and I'm doing it for a long enough time, and the deeper I go into it, the more the subconscious mind comes out. And then towards the end of the episode, I start losing ideas, or I just keep going over the same ideas. And that's one of the reasons I say I stop it every 20 minutes, give or take. And I've been going now for 26 minutes, so I'm going to have to stop it there in a second. But I believe this becomes a trance/meditation thing for me, because not only is it hard to do math and hard to remember what I was just talking about, because the ideas are coming fast, which is all in line with sleeping and dreams and meditation and shit like that. You get all foggy when you come out of it, kind of like when you just had an orgasm. It's like, oh, it's hard to remember what you did before, where you put down your clothes and shit like that. So not only is it like that, but I get energized after I'm done, sometimes while I'm going. And sometimes that's because the conscious mind is more prevalent. If I do an episode where the conscious mind is more prevalent, you're not going to get as good of information, and you're going to get more of me being egotistical and not well-centered. But, like I've done this before work after not sleeping, for like almost 48 hours. And then all of a sudden I'm in full energy. And it's the same thing that happens after I do, my ritual. If I do my fucking ritual there, and even in the NEOPHYTE, when it was just, Kabbalistic cross, welcoming the elements, elementals, and the watchers. And then I say hi to all the sons and the deities and the archangels just out of respect. And then, Kabbalistic fucking cross, if I didn't already say that. Sometimes I did that before. Or no, I did that first. Kabbalistic cross. And then I get into my lesser banishing of the pentagram. Before that, I establish what I'm doing, and I do it in a grateful manner. I just say I'm grateful to whomever of the day. So being Saturday, I'm grateful to Saturn for banishing my opiate habit, let's just use that as an example, and replacing that with my spiritual practice, meditation, and manifestations. And then I'll say, I will be, so mote it be. And then I go accordingly to that. So, if I'm banishing a habit, a belief system, a program, there's two ways you can go about it. If you're in the first stages of it, I would be banishing the element of air, okay, because it starts in the mind, it's your thoughts, okay, and then there's the water aspect of it, because you have to add emotion to that. Now it hits all of it, and that's the point of doing this, right? So when you're doing your star, you're going to start at the opposite point of fucking air. So you'd be at water, because water is the opposite of air. So you put your finger on the water, and you go up to air, back down to fucking water, and all around you until you get the star done, and then counterclockwise, because you're banishing the bitch. That's what I do. That's what I would do. And then you're going to do that to fire, because, this mental thought became something you were passionate about, or it moved you, it was into your male mind, your conscious mind, and, so you got to banish it out of the fire. And then, obviously, you put emotion to it to bring it into being. So, you got to banish it out of your water. And then, finally, it manifested. So, you got to banish it out of earth. But, technically, that was how I did it in the beginning. Now, I don't do it like that anymore. I would start at the opposite side. Now, you can do both ways, and I've had success with both ways. But the way that most people teach it, and the way that I changed it to, was starting off at earth and going down. All right? But because you're starting at earth doesn't mean you're banishing an earth element. So that's why in the beginning I stated that I was banishing the element of air. So that's why I'm starting at water and I'm going to air. Now you can do that for every single one too, independently. But I'm just telling you how I do it. If I'm banishing into something that's air, so there's spirits. I think there's evil spirits in my house. Then I'm just going to banish air out of every single one of those elements around me. So I'm going to banish the air out of the air element. I'm going to banish the air out of the fire element. I'm going to banish the air out of the water element. I'm going to banish the air out of the earth element. Okay, that's how I go around. Or for every one of those elements, you can go around. So if you started at earth because you're going Wittershins, okay, not sunwise, but so you're not going clockwise, you're going counterclockwise. So you start at earth because something is already manifested, right? You already have this habit. I had this opiate habit that I need to banish. So I start at earth, but I'm banishing the habit, the thought, because you can't see a habit. You can see the effects of a habit going to get your stuff and all that. But so I'm banishing the air out of the earth element, and then I go to water and banishing the air out of the water element and banishing the air of the fire element. Or you can just literally go, but I go counterclockwise and I would banish the air out of all those elements. But some people would tell you that, okay, well, for earth, you go opposite of the earth side, and then you banish the earth, and then you banish the water. Pick the one you want. I'm telling you right now, I don't care what people say. Now, I know the more people that do a specific way, the better. But as long as you have the basics down and all this, then it's really going to think what you believe is going to work is going to work. If you believe this is not going to work, then it's not going to work. If you believe what you're doing is going to work, it's going to work. So don't get messed up on the details. Do what feels right to you in the moment. And if you started doing it away and you're like, oh, fuck, that's not the way so-and-so said it. Well, that so-and-so, if they're worth anything, are going to tell you your intuition and what you do sometimes in the moment is worth more than what you consciously think about. So maybe you were right the first time around. But anyways, I'm at over 30 minutes. So I'm going to have to edit this bitch anyway. So I might as well go for 10 more minutes before I stop the recording. But so that's how I would banish that out of my life. And that's how I would start my process. So that's what I would be doing. And then I'd be doing the middle pillar. And then, whatever magics I was performing, I would perform it in there. I forgot where I was going with this once again. It's terrible. I was just going through my oh yeah. So after I do this regular ritual, this would be my NEOPHYTE ritual. And then, thank fucking whoever, Saturn for what he just banished. And then I do the same ritual again in the same manner. All right. If I'm trying to make something come to me, I'm going to do my lesser banishings sunwise, clockwise. But if I'm trying to do it if I'm trying to do it to banish something, I would do it counterclockwise. Now, well, you could say, if the moon's waxing, wouldn't you have to do a waxing even though you're banishing something? And I'd say no, because the magics I did were always in line with the moon. Okay? Because if you're in your neophyte and you're being told you're not supposed to fucking do specific things till a certain time, and you're doing them anyways, you're going to want to do everything by the fucking book. Absolutely, to the letter. All right? That would be more information I would say. So if I was banishing something, I was doing it in the part of the moon, and if I was bringing something to me, I'd be doing it in the other part of the moon. That's how it would work out for me. But like I said, this eventually evolved into me doing both at the same time, making my spell basically twofold, right? I banish this and I invoke this. Because I learned, that when you banish something, you need to replace it with something else, or else nature's going to replace it for you. And I heard Bert say that a long time ago, but I never clicked in until, things happened, and then I saw it for myself. So anyways, but the point I was trying to say was, because this whole channeling thing I do with this podcast, and I'm sure this is for almost everybody, but when you start talking about something, you get passionate about it, and you get so into it, and, it's energizing. But I think it's also energizing for the same reason that an hour of meditation is worth the 4 hours of sleep, and you feel rejuvenated after, is because I'm technically in a kind of meditative channeling state where you're hearing the ideas and thoughts of my subconscious mind, or some spirit using me as the channel to come through. I mean, you can literally use these different probes above your head, and it will measure your cells and proteins, and it's not even touching you. You have it right where your crown chakra should be. It's amazing to see these things. And if you think any of this is bullshit, I urge you to go look up Bruce Lipton, even Joe Dispenza. The three amigos, Greg, Bruce, and Joe, are fucking... when you put those three guys' knowledge and spiritualities together, it's amazing. And so anyways, but the point is, when I'm doing this, when I'm talking to you on here, the reason it's hard to remember the last thing I said, or I'm all over the place and I get energized after, it's because this channeling process is happening through my left mind mostly, and it will make me extra energized. And it's the same thing when I do the middle pillar in my ritual, and I'm in that trance-like state. When I'm done that, I have a heart, because I do that before bed most of the time, right? And if I fall asleep during it, I have to... I state things there. If I fall asleep, it closes the circle automatically. And I made a program in me to do that, so I never step out of the circle. I didn't want to say that out loud, but anyways, I made a program and put it in my head so that if I fall asleep during my ritual that's in my head, regardless of me falling asleep, the minute I fall asleep, I close my circle is now closed, and my protections come up, basically. So this way I'm not stepping out of the circle if there is any truth to the demons around the circle pacing and waiting to come in. But I think that's only true when you're doing goetic. I don't think there's demons around you all the time waiting for you to hop out. Maybe, because I'm going to give you some stories about what happened a few times and how things went crazy after. And it wasn't even goetic magic or Solomon magic. But anyways, so I believe that because it's hard to sleep sometimes after you do that. I have to have a few smokes, and it takes me like an hour or two to fall asleep sometimes after doing that ritual if I don't fall asleep during the ritual. So all that being said, I want everybody to know that, I'm not just some bullshit or whatever. I'm giving you whatever's coming through to me, because not all this is whatever. And maybe it is, because like I said, I went through, you can say, well, you went to sleep with all those books, all this knowledge is in your head. Great. But what absorbed that knowledge then? You know what I mean? Well, it was the subconscious mind when I was sleeping, and the subconscious mind is now releasing it to me, because I didn't consciously read those with my eyes and comprehend it. I didn't even know it in these books, and now I have all this information. So it's the same fucking thing. You could say, well, it's just all the books you read and the information being released to you. It's not actually spirits. There's no spirits. Okay, but how did my subconscious mind do that? How are you going to rationalize how I went to sleep and my subconscious mind absorbed that whole fucking book? And I have no idea of it. It's kind of like how your dreams are picked. And then now it's coming back out. It really doesn't make any sense no matter how you look at it. So I think that's why people, personified and said spirits. I'm not saying they're real or not real, but it makes more sense than to just say, well, your subconscious mind is this smart and all this. You know what I mean? But anyways, so if back to the sleep thing, because I need to move on, because this is not even what I wanted to talk about today. I'm all over the place too. But even though, fuck, Christ. Sorry, guys. Actually, I'll just close it out with the whole meditation thing and just move on, because meditation is super important. Is what I really just wanted to establish. And if you're having lack of sleep because you cannot sleep, because you cannot get to sleep, or you're having trouble sleeping, or you have any kind of insomnia or whatever, well, try meditating and make yourself fucking tired. Take up a ritual practice. Do something that makes your mind tired. Start writing. Do whatever. And best case scenario, you fall asleep during your writing and you get tired. Worst case scenario, you're not sitting there just dwelling over the fact like, I got to work in 4 hours, I got to work in 3 hours, 2 hours, and getting mad at yourself because you can't sleep. At least you're going to get something done. You're writing something, you're doing dishes, whatever the case is. A lot of people, and I was one of them, if I couldn't sleep, I would sit there trying to sleep over and over again. And what happens when you consciously try to do something? Well, it doesn't manifest. People fall asleep the fastest when they don't even fucking think about it. They're not even thinking about it. Boom, asleep. So, do something. Get something done. Get something done so then you have something accomplished, and then you're going to get tired and go to sleep, because, you do 20 minutes, half an hour of doing dishes, at least you got something done, and then you can fall back to sleep after, versus sitting there for an hour or two until you finally fall asleep and you only get an hour of sleep. Well, it's better to do half an hour of fucking dishes, get something done, accomplished, and then you can go to sleep. Maybe that's why you can't sleep, because your subconscious mind's like, man, you didn't do nothing all fucking day. What do you need to sleep for? Do some fucking dishes. Do some fucking writing. But anyways, I'll end that there with the whole meditation thing. Do your research on it. Find a way to do it. Any questions, feel free. I have a Twitter. I had an old Twitter account. It was Philip Ganley. It was when I tried to set up my Facebook account, and it didn't work. And I got a funny story about that, because I just recently made a new Facebook account, and I showed my wife within fucking 6 hours of me activating it, it was fucking deactivated, flagged. I had to put a picture on there, and they gave me the excuse they want to protect me, and then fucking bullshit. No more Facebook account. But I remade my Twitter account, and it's now Corey White, same as my Instagram, Corey White. But it used to be Philip Ganley. And I actually had 2 followers on there, and I had no idea, and I wasn't active on there at all, but all my speaker stuff was actually going there. I didn't know that, because I set up this Corey White account, and I threw all my speaker stuff on there, and when I went to go do a search for podcast or ceremonial witchcraft, Philip Ganley came up, which is a combination of 2 of my family members' first and last names. But yeah, so Philip Ganley came up, and all my shit was there, and I didn't even know. So I didn't delete Philip Ganley, which is me, and then now there's Corey White, which is also me, but the Corey White one's going to have all the same videos that Instagram has, and other videos, and just playing around with it. But, Spreaker keeps telling me I need to promote my shit more. I don't give a fuck. But they give me all these emails and shit like that, so I just fucking figure, okay, well, I'll try Facebook one more time. And yeah, Facebook got denied again. My God, it's so sickening. And here's what I'm trying to say about this whole, when someone is speaking truth, if someone is telling you truthful stuff, they won't make a big spectacle of it. They're not going to put it all. You're just going to be flagged and banned continuously. Like, I can't even go on Facebook. Like I said, the first time they thought it was weird because I didn't have any pictures of my face. I didn't have any friends. So they said, well, this is suspicious activity, subjugated to troll activity or whatever. So, okay, well, that makes sense. And then, you know, and I never ended up getting friends, but I put pictures on there of me and stuff like that. And every time, got flagged. This time, I'm setting up my Instagram account to attach it to that, because on Instagram, I think I got 60 or 61 followers. So technically, if that was hooked up to Facebook and it kind of went over, then my Facebook would have people on there, so they couldn't say it's suspicious activity. But I don't want the people from my town that know me or whatever to come on my site and start thinking stuff. And it's not about me being thinking the stuff I watch is weird or anything like that. I don't give two fucks what anybody is. If anybody sees my pentagram on my neck, I'll tell them exactly what it is. I'm like, you wouldn't question fucking Captain America for holding his fucking shield, which his shield has got a fucking star and it's a circle around it. You don't question that. So why would you question this shield? This is my protection. This is spirit, air, fire, water, and earth. It has nothing to do with anything satanic or demonic. That's the same answer I tell everybody. This means I'm more spiritual, not less spiritual. This means I'm more into spirit, not more satanic. But anyways, it's about the fact that I don't want all the minds that I went to school with or grew up with and all this thinking that, you know, in their linear programmed, and it's not their fault, but in their linear programmed perception, I wouldn't want them thinking that I've lost it, I've gone crazy, this, that, the other thing, and then projecting all those things onto me or feeling bad for me or whatever the case is. So I don't want to use my real name or real attributes or not even real picture in case someone comes across it. I want the people that want the knowledge to find it by accident and not people to find it and, you know, whatever else happened after. So this is why I'm trying to make these accounts, but I can't do it. So I might actually get my wife to make one or something like that at some point. But for the foreseeable future, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to make a Facebook account. But I am on Twitter, Corey White. I am on Instagram. I have my own website, Spreaker, all these places you can send me messages. YouTube now, I know where my messages are, and I see them now, so that's awesome. The guy that said what that I talked about last time hit me back, and yeah, so everything's good there too. But this is what I'm talking about. Whenever you have knowledge that is actually worth something that can help, they don't ban, they'll suppress it. They suppress it, and suppressing it, it's not like Alex Jones, right? It was the guy I was talking about the last time. Alex Jones is a man who was known for being a truther and the truth community and all this shit, right? But he got publicly humiliated and was, you know, debunked over and over again, all this shit. And it's because that was the show. That was the program they were in. That was what was supposed to happen. They wanted a truther to look like a fucking idiot to stop people from being truth. They wanted somebody to play the role of the truther that gets banned, and, you know, you're going to see probably very soon, I don't like speaking shit into being, but you're going to probably see very soon certain truthers that are actual real truthers are going to be getting into trouble, going to jail and all this. And it's to send a message, and it might even already be happening. And you don't want that to happen. So don't believe it when it does happen, but it is probably going to happen soon. But this is what's happening to my stuff. Every time I go on Facebook, I've been flagged from someone, and it automatically gets disconnected. So when you see some truthers saying all this crap, what happened to them, all the bad stuff, because they have the truth, be leery, because I'm telling you right now, when people actually get banned, and I know from experience, they just get suppressed and there's nothing surrounding it. Shut the door.
Just a young gun with a quick fuse. I was uptight, wanna let loose. I was dreaming of bigger things and wanna leave my old life behind. Not a yes sir, not a follower. Fit the box, fit the mold, have a seat in the foyer. Take a number. I was lightning before the thunder. Thunder, 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 feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning classes while I was scheming for the masses. Who do you think you are? Dreaming about being a big star. They say you're basic, they say you're easy. You're always riding in the backseat. Now I'm smiling from the stage while you were clapping in the nosebleeds.
Thunder, 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 thunder,
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder.
thunder,
absolutely and fundamentally leery of any truther going around saying. Now, that's the thing. Like right now, I'm doing what I am condemning, right? Because technically, I'm telling you, I'm not a truther, right? I'm a spiritual fucking. I'm a ceremonial witch, is what I am. Okay, I'm ceremonial magic practitioner, and I'm a witchcraft practitioner, is what I am. Who also does psychology, astrology, tarot, hypnosis, divination, which a bunch of those are divination, but different divinations then, I guess. And I like to, this is what I am. So I'm not a truther, but I'm just trying to help people see this light too in a different way. I want to be a different voice for everybody. I'm not for everybody. It's just like Frederick Xavier may not be for everybody, just like Birch may not be for everybody. Just like Bob Proctor may not be for everybody, or Greg Brady may not be for everybody. There's all these different people, because different people resonate with different people. So I'm meant to help so many people that will resonate with me, that may not understand certain concepts, and then when they hear me say it, they will. That's what I'm meant to do, and that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to do anyways. But, sorry, my daughter gave me a cookie, so I had to eat it. But, point is, I'm just telling you to be leery, because from experience, I know that when my stuff gets suppressed, it's this weird way. It tells me something's been disabled or whatever. They keep me around, but they just use an excuse for why this happened. Whereas someone like Alex Jones is on mainstream media, okay, saying he's a truther, and then he gets embarrassed with this whole porn thing, and then everybody he attacked during, I forget what it was, there were lawsuits against him, so they're painting a pretty bad picture, like, yeah, if you're going to be a truther, this is what's going to happen to you. And they don't care if you think this has all been planted, which is going to be, what he says or something like that. This has all been planted here for me. They have the power. Don't do it. It's a scare tactic to get you to stop and not watch this shit. So keep that in mind. Someone's very public about what they do. And I'm not trying to say that. That's what I'm doing, anything like that. But, you can mix that around for that. There's this old thing that says conspiracy was started by the government. So, but anyways, this plays into the whole idea of this age of Aquarius, all these prophesized things, right? You have the book of Revelation. The Christian's version of our time right now is that we're about to die. Everything's going to go to shit. Jesus is going to come, and and that's that. And I don't accept that. That is not my reality. That is not my world. I have 4 children, and all 4 of my children are going to live and have grandchildren, and then they're going to have grandchildren, they're going to have grandchildren. Now, by the time they all have grandkids and shit like that, they're going to be different, and they're going to probably be not as dense, and spirituality is going to have changed. But the reason I say this, the reason I say all this shit is because there's a lot of people trying to get you to focus on doomsday predictions and bad things out there. I'm trying to get you to focus on all this bad shit. And you, if you're listening to me, you're learning now that your mind controls your reality. All our minds together could change everybody's reality and change our world. So now knowing this, knowing there's been experiments to prove this, that science proved this, that there's all these gurus saying this, that there's people, real life people proving that this is true. All right, all these opposite prophecies of not Jesus is coming, not the end of the world, that it's not heaven or earth, or all this shit is true, that we're all going to have this rapture and this big thing of smoke is going to happen and all this crap. All right, that is all not true, and the opposite is actually true, that we are all going to become enlightened. There's this grand awakening coming, and everybody's going to become enlightened, and it's going to change the world, and we're going to all go to new earth and all this shit. Well, this whole everybody becoming enlightened and waking up, and then all of a sudden you're going to see the Pleiadians or spiritual beings or our ancestors and all this. Well, this is what's happening right now. By learning magic, by learning how to use your mind and manifest what you want, you are making that prophecy come true. That's what it is. This information that I'm telling you, that everybody like me is telling you, is the age of Aquarius, the water bearer, the fucking, you have to, Aquarius is an air sign, but he's holding water. Why? Well, when you take your air, your thought, and you add water, emotion to it, you bring it into manifestation. So we are in the age of Aquarius, which means we're making our thoughts our fucking manifestation. So if you're going to continue to watch media and focus on what you don't want, then you are going to amp, because everybody's getting amped up. Everything's happening. People studying spirituality right now, whether you're just beginning or you've been in it for a while, are going to be ahead of the game, ahead of the curve. Why? Because they already know how to do this shit. And now we're getting our energies on a higher level. Everything's going to go faster, easier, and better. So that doesn't mean stop the curriculum, stop your grounding, and just start manifesting. You could, but you're not going to do it from a well-balanced place. But when you do it from a well-balanced place, then yeah, you're going to have more power than the people that can't control and can't do what they want. You know what I mean? Everything someone focuses on is going to happen faster. Let's say, the regular person focuses on something and after 30 days it happens. Well, it's going to happen in 15 days if you want to put it in a mathematical, linear fashion, is what this age Aquarius is bringing, what these energies are bringing. Not every month is going to work like this, depending on the planetary energies, but the curriculum, like I said, in your first grade after your initiation phase, your lesser banishing of the hexagram reduces the planetary energies on you. Okay? That's the Earth energy, Venus, Mars, Sun, Moon, Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury. All of them get reduced. Okay? So Mercury retrograde won't fuck with you as much. Saturn won't fuck with you as much. And it's because it reduces Saturn's energy. Saturn is the ruler of this realm of physical matter. So when you reduce Saturn, you reduce all the energies of the planetary bodies. And when you reduce Saturn's energies, you end up slowing down the aging process as well. So this is why don't stop the curriculum. Keep going with it, because if we are getting more energies and easier manifestation happening right now in this age of Aquarius, where it's literally the water bearer. It's literally going to be, you're going to think things into existence a lot faster than before. Now, like I said, if 30 days is your regular manifestation period time, well, then it's going to be 15. And it doesn't mean everybody is 30 days, they're all going to be 15. That means if you're someone that does it in 3, it's going to be 1.5. But you could be someone that happens in like 3 months or 6 months. Well, then that's going to be still faster, is my point. But everybody's on a different level. But it's happening faster. And this is what these prophecies are. Whether you're looking at the Revelation or you're looking at the New Age stuff or anything, this is what's happening right now. This is this grand awakening. And we are having one. But this is what they're trying to suppress, hijack, and get rid of. Because the more people that know this and get into this, the more people are going to be ahead of the game. And then once we ignite, then we're going to be fucking unstoppable. Because we'll have the numbers and the know-how. And the one thing I got to say about magic is that it all takes time. All right, and that's the part people hate. Everybody wants something instant to gratify them right off the hop, okay? But it's not. This shit takes time. So imagine, by the time everybody finds this out, and it will happen, everybody's going to be figuring this out within the next, I want to say 10 years, almost everybody will know this truth on one level or another, okay? Not everybody, obviously, but it's going to be 10 times as more popular as it is right now. So imagine if you're starting right now, okay, in 10 years, you're going to be more than an adept. And the people just starting, just figuring it out by then, everybody's going to be the trend because so many people have done it, because there's people way ahead of me, right? Imagine what they're going to be able to do in 10 years. Point is you're going to be ahead of the game because you've already had the time to do all this process, where other people are going to have to take the time. And here's the thing. They're going to know what's real. They're going to know what's true, but they're not going to be able to do what other people do. And if the people that in 10 years, people like me in 10 years, what I'm going to be able to do, and what someone who's never done anything before who's trying to do, if, say, they're trying to do some kind of baneful magic, I'll be able to stop it instantly, because they won't be able to do anything, because they don't have the practice, they're not depolarized, they haven't built up the rapport with spirits, they haven't worked with the planetary energies, they haven't reduced any of the energies, they haven't done any of this shit, right? I'm not even done the curriculum yet. So imagine like Frederick Xavier or Birch. Like Birch has already been in the game for how long? This is why he can do the things he can do. Because with more time comes more knowledge, comes more experience, comes more responsibility. But you're able to hone that in. And this is what this age of Aquarius is. And this is why I can't create a Facebook page, because they don't want this information out, because they don't want people knowing this. They want everybody to stay at home, watch the media, and believe their narrative of the world, so we just keep going around the same fucking way. Like I said, I can't tell you for sure if there's this on purpose happening to suppress this information, or if it's just over time over time, over and over and over again, it's been suppressed, and we no longer know what the real truth is. I have a feeling out there that there are some people that really know what's real and what's not real, but point is, this is what this age of Aquarius, one of the things that's going to happen, and you want to be ahead of the curve. So start studying now, start doing your exercises now. Don't rush it. Do everything happens, and one day you just wake up, it's like, holy fuck, this is awesome. I'm awesome. I love this shit. But anyways, I think that's enough for today. So, hope everybody enjoyed. Yeah, have yourself a great fucking day. Alright, I know I said I was done, but there's just one more thing I left open-ended I wanted to stop. So, like I said, whether it's the Christian rapture when Jesus comes back, or we're talking about the awakening where, Palladian star systems might come down, and because we're finally all awake, and it doesn't matter which one of these you believe in, or a different one, similar one, whatever, that's what's happening right now. Like I said, the age of Aquarius is the air sign holding the water, adding it. It's what we're going through right now, and the mythical Jesus story, whether true or untrue, of him coming back, is just a representation of the Christ within, the Christos. There was lots of Christ back in the day, around the time of Jesus and after him, that we can find in history, because it was a level of achieved magical power of self-evolvement, self-transformation, and because of that, I believe that's what's happening. So as much as the Christians and priests and other religions might be thinking this is the rapture and the end of the world, it's not. It's the end of this age. It's the end of everybody thinking all this bad shit is going to happen. People want you thinking that this could happen so they can be proved right. I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of Christians out there that would rather die and have this rapture happen where Jesus comes and the devil and they divide up the souls. They'd rather have that happen so their ego can be satisfied and justified, so that everything they believed in wasn't for nothing. And they'd rather see that happen than figure out that they were wrong and have to start over and do this. But that's exactly what's going to happen. Now, because we're the wild card in this equation, because what we focus on can happen, if they get enough people to focus on something like that happen, they could bring about a destruction. It's never going to happen in the way that is said in the Bible, where there's going to be a physical, mythical Jesus person that comes on the earth and says, hey, all you Christians go to heaven, the rest of you go to hell. I mean, that just wouldn't make sense, especially with their doctrine saying God loves everybody, but yet he's only going to keep the Christians. It's never going to happen like that. But what I'm saying is their ego is so strong that they could even figure out this truth, and they would still try to bring about destruction so they won't have to be proven wrong, because they want so bad to be right. And, that's a hard pill to swallow, and you're wrong. But what I'm telling you right now is what's going to happen is people are going to get sick and fed up of the media. People are going to more people are going to listen to this stuff, and it has an effect. The more people that get into this, the more people see other people doing this, the more it's not something crazy to do. It's going to become a trend. It's going to become popular. With that, there's going to be trolls and there's going to be fake people more than there is now trying to condemn it. But it's inevitable. This is going to change the world. This is going to happen. And in 10 years, if you've started now, you're going to be way ahead of most people, and you could be potentially helping change people. Now, I'm not saying you should start a coven or a fucking priesthood or a church or anything like that, but going around helping those who are serious and want the help is okay. After is going to be part of your role if you start this process right now, which is awesome. But like I said, there's going to be people wanting to put your focus on that, and people in about 10 years, 5 years from now, somewhere around that number, it's just people are going to stop, and they're going to realize this is a way. And some people are not going to try because it's going to be too much work, and others are going to do it. And the people that don't try right then, well, they're going to eventually figure out that they need to do it. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is just stick with it, do the curriculum, even on the days where things are hard and things aren't working out for you and all that. Just stick with it, because everything happens with divine timing. Everything happens for a reason, and I've had more than my share of those days where everything seems to be going wrong, and it's almost like, what the fuck is the point? But those days have already come and gone, and I'm still here and I'm still doing this. So just trust me when I say that everything will work out, and you're doing absolutely fantastic, and you are helping change the world by just helping to change yourself. That is the most profound change you can do, by changing yourself and trying to make yourself a better person and trying to help others, and all this is the best way to change the world. It's not about organizing people and delegating jobs and telling people what to do and giving money and all this. I mean, all those things have their place and are good if they're done responsibly and not from a power point of view. But by changing yourself and getting your life in order and working on your own self-transformation is the first step, and it's probably the best thing you can do for the world. Because you lead by example. People will do what you're doing if it works for you and stuff like that. So anyways, I just wanted to leave with that thought, because I kind of left that open, that the Christian rapture and everything else that's happening, all the other prophecies that are happening right now, all the doomsday prophecies, and all the light worker and beautiful rainbow prophecies and shit like that, they're all going to happen, but it's all within us. It's all within what you do, because when you change, other people change around you. So don't be scared of some Christian rapture bullshit. That's never going to fucking happen. They've been prophesizing that fucking bitch since, well, at least 2,000 years they've had that in the Bible. And every year there's always been a doomsday prediction. And none of them have happened. Not a single fucking one. And right now the weather patterns are suggesting we're in a mini ice age. So there's a lot of people running with this doomsday prediction of the mini ice age. And once again, I'm here to say that it's true that the pattern is going that way. And I mean, we've had more snow this November than we've had some entire years in the last decade here in Canada. The last two years we got dumped on, but it was all by snow here in my town. But it's been always after Christmas, whereas right now we've got, I don't know, about a foot of snow already on the ground. So there's been a lot of different profound changes happening, but it is all part of the same patterns. And just don't believe any of that shit. And the thing to remember is, whether it does or doesn't happen, you can't change anything about it. So even if it was to happen, the best you could do is get candles and prepare your house, maybe get a generator, learn how to run something off your generator in your home. Doesn't matter. You can prepare for these things, but I wouldn't focus your power on it, because they're not going to happen unless, the elites, the government, whatever, really want to create it. Then, the ones that control the power, and I mean powered by electricity, could shut it off and pretend it was a disaster and do something to that effect if they really wanted to. But I would say you got nothing to worry about. Thank you, baby. Thank you. You have nothing to worry about whatsoever. Anyway, so yeah, that's the last thought of the day. And yeah, have a great fucking day. Yeah, baby. I know.
This is gospel for the fallen ones, locked away in permanent slumber, assembling their philosophies from pieces of broken memories. Oh, 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 oh. The gnashing teeth and criminal tongues conspire against the odds, but they haven't seen the best of us yet. If you love me, let me go.
emotions at first in this line, with all these pictures running through my mind, knowing endless consequences. I feel so useless in this. Get back, step back, and as for me, I can't believe part of me won't agree, 'cause I don't know if it's for sure. Suddenly, I don't feel so insecure. Part of me won't agree, 'cause I don't know if it's for sure. Suddenly, I don't feel so insecure anymore. Everybody's got their problems. Everybody says the same thing to you. It's just a matter how you solve them. But what else are we supposed to do? Part of me won't agree, 'cause I don't know if it's for sure. Suddenly, I don't feel so insecure. Part of me won't agree, 'cause I don't know if it's for sure. Suddenly, I don't feel so insecure anymore. Why do things that matter the most never ends up with anything we chose? Now that I find no way so bad, I don't think I knew what I had. Why do things that matter the most never ends up with anything we chose? Now that seem to stop my breath, my head on your chest, waiting to cave in. From the bottom of my hear your voice again. Could we dim the sun and wonder where we've been? Maybe you and me, so kiss me like you did. My heart stopped beating, such a softer sin. In your eyes, I lost my place. Could stay a while, and I'm melting in your eyes, like my first time that I caught fire. Just stay with me, lay with me now. Never caught my breath. Every second I'm without you, I'm a mess. Ever know each other? Trust these words are stones. White caps are healing. Learning how to love, I'm melting. In your eyes, I lost my place. Could stay a while, and I'm melting in your eyes, like my first time that I caught fire. Just stay with me, lay with me, lay with me now. You can stay and watch me fall, and of course I'll ask for help. Just stay with me now. We can take our hands, I'll stay in bed and just make love, that's all. Just stay with me now. I'm melting. In your eyes, I lost my place. Could stay a while, and I'm melting in your eyes, like my